So stop motion animation was my favorite pastime growing up, hence why my name is Stopmo. I don't really do it anymore, but I'm still very curious to know how my old animations would look at higher frame rates, so I decided to use Dain to harness the power of AI to do just that. I'm going to show you the original version as well as a 3 times interpolated version of 8 different animations in chronological order, so that you guys can see what it looks like when bad animation is interpolated versus when decent animation is interpolated. I'll talk more about the specific effects of the interpolation after you've seen all the animations. Enjoy! Okay, that was pretty cool. Now let's see some of the specific effects that the interpolation had on the animations. The first animation, which is the first one I ever made, actually looks pretty great after the interpolation. The only thing is that when objects appear in the shot, they kind of fade into existence, which is kind of strange to see in a stop motion animation. This fade-in effect gets dramatically compounded when you have hard cuts between shots. If I were to use frame interpolation on a final project, I would interpolate each individual shot rather than interpolate all the shots linked together in order to preserve the cuts. You can see that the jump animation also looks great with interpolation. This is mostly because I used animation techniques for realistic acceleration, so the interpolation just adds another layer of smoothness on top of the already existing realistic movement. Something I started noticing in this animation is that spinning movement isn't handled so well, which makes sense when you think about it. Dain, being an AI with no sense of naturalistic movement, is suitable for linear movement. This means that it draws a shape more like a pentagon or a triangle with a fast spinning object. Without the interpolation, your brain is much better at inferring the motion of an object going in a circle because it fills in the gaps where there's no frames with a sense of motion based off of real experiences, which is the very principle of animation itself. I personally think that the drawn animation looks the best out of the bunch, mostly because I was extremely attentive to making the movement of the shapes realistic and weighty in the first place. You don't need excessive frames in an animation to make the movement look smooth. My final verdict is that using frame interpolation will make your animation look smoother, but it's not going to improve the overall quality of the final animation. If you don't have proper movement in the first place, Dain is not going to fix it for you, and in some cases it might actually make it look worse by highlighting mistakes or by adding details where it's not supposed to. It's a neat experiment to try, but using this on hand animation is not a very viable way to cheat your way to get good animation. If you want a longer, more emotional analysis of frame interpolation on 2D animation, check out this video by Noodle. That's about all I have to show you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.